Hello and welcome to Never Fall. This is your transfer update, probably your last one after today. The window shuts down and everybody gets their player and we get to do predictions for real. But Man United, Amrabat is imminent. They sent a private jet, so medical is booked for today. Liverpool, Gravenberch announced, Matthias Nunes, and also maybe Salah's update later. Maybe. But we're here with Rory, Talks Football, of course. Rory, welcome. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Very well.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Also, welcome is here with us, a Liverpool fan, of course. Happy. Look happy. You look happy.
I'm content.
You're content.
Oh, you really?
Gas, of course.
Yeah, I'm content. No, I'm happy that Liverpool made a signing. I am. I can't lie.
Is that it? Is that it? Welcome, just a signing, yeah.
No, I would like a centre back. Whether or not we get a centre back, Klopp in his press conference did say, like, potentially there might be a centre back, potentially. So we'll wait and see. I don't know. But I'm happy with Gravenberch. Obviously, it's not the number one choice, but I'm happy he's through the door. Let's see what Klopp can do with him.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the case. But yeah, man, what are you saying, anyways, man? It's just you don't look. You say you're content, but I'm looking at your face, Welcome, and I'm not reading any happy signals. It's like, what's going on?
It's early, man. It's early, man. It's early.
Like,
it's early.
Kind of looks like you look like you got electric shock. You might need to comb out your hair a little bit. You know what I mean? It's not looking good, mate.
Bro, don't worry about us, B. Don't worry about us. We're all right.
Here's the energy. You're hearing this, Rory.
Yeah, don't worry about us. Don't worry about us.
Yeah.
Okay. Really and truly, I am happy because it is what it is. This is the market. We've got Gravenberch, right? At least we didn't, fiddle around, say who's there. We've got Gravenberch in the door. He wanted to come for us. Jurgen Klopp called him up and he was excited about the project. He wanted to kickstart his career, and I think Liverpool's a good place to do it under Jurgen Klopp. We're going for a rebuild, so I want the same energy that you gave Chelsea fans when he said, okay, let's give them time, because this is a new team, a new system. Klopp did say as well in his press conference, he spoke about the midfield. It's a revamped midfield, but I'm pretty sure that Klopp's got something under his sleeve. When things start gelling, yeah, man, I think we're there, man.
Okay, just 5 minutes ago, welcome. 5 minutes ago, the Saudis have been getting encouragement from certain quarters that a deal to sign Mo Salah can be done. The source is Sky Sports News. What do you say about that?
Jurgen Klopp said that, listen, the Salah story is done. He's not going. I'm saying it from now. I don't think he's going.
Can I ask you something? Are you really saying that or believe in it, or you're saying that because that's what you want to believe? You're really confident 100%. Okay.
I'm only believing it because Jurgen Klopp came out and said that. So obviously I don't know the ins and outs. Like, I'm not a reporter. I don't know anything. Like, do you get what I'm saying? I'm watching the press conference. I'm saying what Jurgen Klopp has said. He's, after the Newcastle game, they asked Jurgen Klopp, is Salah, he said the story's done. He came out press conference today. He said the story, he's not going anywhere. I'm hearing reports that he's not going anywhere. That's what I know so far. So I'm only going to believe what you're telling me, right? So if you're saying it's no, it's no. If he's going to go, say he's going to go. There's working, we're working on that and stuff like that. But Jurgen Klopp hasn't said that. So I'm only going by what the gaffer says.
Klopp did think you'd signed Caicedo, though, to be fair. So
yeah, we all
not always right.
This would be a thing where we're going to slight something in, like, imagine it between the lines.
Listen, the Caicedo deal was a little fluke. That's just, I don't know what Liverpool's playing. I don't know what. I can't legislate for that one. I can't lie. You're right, because everybody got excited, right? We got Caicedo. This guy called Jurgen Klopp and said, "Nah, G, I ain't coming. I'm going Chelsea." Look, it falls egg on our face, but for this, Gravenberch is here, and Mo Salah said that he's not going. So that's what it is.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Rory, what do you make of the Gravenberch signing? Because for me, I might have a different look on what can be done and what the Liverpool are trying to do for now and for the future, rather than trying to think that they can go and win the league. right now? Like, what's your kind of look on it? Decent signing, wrong profile, underwhelming, good, solid, etc., etc.
Yeah, I think the first two bits of that was pretty much. I think it's a good signing. I think he's a great player, and I'm quite excited to see him in the league. But I don't think it's necessarily the profile that they needed to go for. For me, he's a box-to-box 8. You can try and play him as a 6, but the glaring hole in that midfield is the lack of a proper 6. And that's what I'd have gone for. So long term, I think he'll end up being a big part of their midfield. But short term, I look at the Amrabat signing and think that's a signing that they should have been all over in terms of a profile that they needed. So, yeah, I don't know if they're going to try and play him as that sort of holding midfielder and reprofile him, or what they're going to do. I don't know what their plan is. I'm sure there is one, but yeah, I think both United and Liverpool needed Amrabat, and United got him, and Liverpool went and got Gravenberch. So,
but to be honest, Rory, this guy Gravenberch is the only replacement for Szoboszlai. They actually don't have any advanced 8 on the team. McAllister is kind of a maybe box-to-box dictator. Szoboszlai is the only midfielder that can crash the 18, score some goals. He's kind of an advanced 8 as well. Like every time I'm watching the guy, he drives to the 18, gets closer to the opposition's goal. People forget that, yes, they signed Szoboszlai, but you can't just go a whole season assuming that this guy's going to be fit and play your 40 games or 50 games since they are in the Europa League now. I think it's a very good signing, very good price for them. He showed really good signs at Ajax. Didn't get a chance even to play football at Bayern Munich. Of course, we know the competition there is different level, because in his position there is Musiala, Goretzka, and Kimmich. So where are you going to play? I actually think it's a very, very good signing for the price. But I agree with you. They still have that hole unless he is considering Indo as the one who's going to fill that hole. And it looks like, based on the last game against Newcastle, it looks like he's considering playing Indo as a starting holding DM, and then Trent and Verse next to him, the older story that we know. And I think that's not good enough to win you the Premier League, but I think that's enough for them to get top 4, in my opinion. That's more than enough. Looking at the other teams, not a lot of people has that good of a forward line, in my opinion, in the Premier League. Not a lot of teams have that good of a forward line.
But it'll be very interesting to see how Jurgen Klopp plays, though. I think, is he trying to play this possession-based football? Is he going to try to push the opposition back and we keep that ball within their sort of spaces? So when you have Gravenberch, he's tidy with his feet as well. Obviously, he's still young. He's only 21. So obviously, there's a few things that he can, get better at as well. But I think if we try to play that possession football, I think someone like a Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, and McAllister can be nice in the free. And obviously, you've got Trent as well coming into midfield as well, if that's the case. You know what I mean? So I would like, I don't think we've settled yet, and I don't think we've found our formation. Like I said, I keep alluding this. Jurgen Klopp is still finding out the best way to play with this current sort of players as well. So, it'd be very interesting to see how it plays, because I know you might say we needed 6, but Gravenberch can still be. We might not play like that. We might not need necessarily a 6. We've got our defenders pushing up as well. So it'll be very interesting to kind of see as well, because, like I said, I think he's moving away from that high line sort of, counter-attacking football, boom, boom, boom. I think he's going to be more possession, and someone like Gravenberch and McAllister and Szoboszlai, who's good on the ball, press resistant. I think, yeah, and then we can start feeding our forward players kind of thing. And then after it goes quick, boom, 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 and then you sit back and you just, keep the ball. Yeah. I think Gravenberch is a good player that can try.
Let me do these 2 super chats, because that alludes to my next question. Out of context, Mo is saying, I would like to address the allegations. Unlike City, I am not Mo. Just a huge fan of him. Thank you so much for the support, my man. Thank you so much.
How much that cost you, Mo? £1.50, something like that?
£50 is about $1.50 in American dollars.
There you go.
I have VPN. I have a VPN, so I'm.
Could be you still, Mo. I don't know about our contest. Could be you.
Whoa.
Gravenberch,
Mike Ramsey. So I wanted to address this. Do we really think that an academy product from Holland that played for Ajax, he's not an academy product from Ajax as far as I know, he joined Ajax in 2020, is a better product than the academy product of Liverpool Football Club? Like, is that what we're thinking? What do you think about that, Wilkes?
Yeah, I can't lie. I'm a bit triggered about that one because I find Jones is quality. Jones is like I can't lie. I don't like that one. That wasn't nice, innit? So check the tapes. Check the tapes. The last season, the last back end of the season, he played Jones. Obviously, there's a lot of freakish injuries that Jones had. The problem I had with Jones was he didn't have a consistent run of games. Like Jurgen Klopp, like he's one of those kids. Like we have a good couple games, then after he wouldn't play him. And it was a bit weird from Jurgen Klopp. Or you swap with Elliot. There was a time when Elliot was playing, then Elliot came out the fire line, then he started playing Jones. So, but no, Jones is quality, and I think with the two, how Jurgen Klopp said it, the two midfielders is like the two number 10s, and I think that really suited Curtis Jones, moving him forward, trying to attack the defenders as well, because he's got the quality to do so. I'd say the game against Tottenham last season when we beat them 4-3 at Anfield, Jones was a very a good player. He had a good game in that game. Sorry, so. I think just moving in that forward line against Leicester when he bagged 2 goals last season as well at the at Leicester's ground, bro, quality player, man. Jones is a good player from the academy. I watched him from young.
Does no one look at him more as a Thiago replacement for when Thiago eventually leaves next year? You know, like I look at it like that, playmaker for playmaker. You've already got a similar player, McAllister, anyways. You know, like low center gravity type.
Yeah. And Elliot as well. Elliot can do that as well.
I don't know what it is with your board or what they got planned, but. Like Pellegrini is now going to Bayern Munich, and they're saying what was the fee? Something like 70 million or something like that.
70 million pounds, 85 million euros. Oh my god.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like, bro, like you could have got. I just don't understand why you didn't go for someone like Pellegrini and a Gravenberch. You could have both of them, to be fair. You know, or maybe it's just the fact that I just think it's a planner. Like if you know what a planner is, I think the planner is they're not going to they're looking at a certain type of DM, but it's just not available right now.
Yeah.
And if it's too late in the window to really have anything scouted properly to go and do for next season, next year, assess where you are, obviously, and then address.
We still got that Andre guy. We're still keeping tabs on Andre.
The only thing is, I find is that the thing is with your board is like they spent a bit of money, right? Don't get me wrong, but you're looking at a proper bad boy centre back potential replacement somewhere along them lines, a midfielder in DM. How much is that going to cost next year, considering what has been going for this year, and then also Salah's to end up leaving, and there's going to be a lot of money through Salah, but if you're going to sell him in the end, it's replacing him with whoever it might be. It's just that, you know, it's just your board, isn't it? I say they're just as confused as my one, and they're the worst in the league.
Well, I don't get it. Why you say we're confused? Because, for example, if Jurgen Klopp said that he wanted Gravenberch, yeah, he got Gravenberch. He wanted Endo, he got Endo. And obviously the likes of like Nunes, whether or not that was the board or not, to get what I'm saying. But like, I don't. What do you mean? Like, Paulinho went to Bayern. Obviously, I agree. There's certain players that we kind of wanted as well. I wanted, like, say, for example, like an Alvarez. He went for 35, and I think he's good as well. But
you can't sit here and tell me your board's not confused. You could have went for Lavia and got him for your 50 million in the end. Instead, you got Gravenberch for a total of, what is it, 45 million total? Or no, euros, sorry. So 37 and whatever. So you could have grabbed an actual DM who's young with potential, just like a Gravenberch for 10 million. You're telling me that's not confused and go bid.
Is that not? And
then go bid for someone that didn't even want to go to your club for 115, and you told me that's not confused.
Is that the board, or is that people making the deals? Is that the board of people making the deals? If the board says, okay, you man are making the deals, I'm giving you the piece, you go and get that player. That's on the.
Welcome. That's all a part of your board.
I don't know.
Yes, that's how it works. Your directors and everything, it's all a part of your board. That's how it works. Did you not know that? I'm not saying it's Klopp's fault. I think Klopp probably got a bit of a hand in this. I'm not trying to say that anything's wrong or Liverpool's crap or anything like that. I'm just saying your direction this summer, I thought it was going quite well after like Szoboszlai and McAllister. I just feel like you just got a very confused board. Like they don't know what it's. We criticize Chelsea all the time about not knowing what direction they want and going for this, that, and the other, but your my club are the same at this point, and my one's. I tell you, hands down, we got the worst one. But at least we had a clear image, kind of like I think everyone can kind of see Man United's image in a way, but the Mount was a bit underwhelming. But you can see what they were trying to do. No one.
But you can see the same thing for Liverpool. You can see what they're trying to do as well. We're going for a rebuild,
bro. Yeah, but not getting a capable enough 6 is baffling. Like you're not getting a centre back. When you said did Paul Joyce not say that you will be going to get a DM after a centre mid? You'll be going to get a DM and a centre back. Come on, man! I ain't seen none of that. How have you not got a centre back in this window? It's crazy.
No, you're right. Yeah. No,
Let me change this. Go on. Yeah, I'm just changing it up. Go on.
Yeah. But to be honest, like this Liverpool thing is that I know the rebuild. I know that 21 years old, 22 years old, but Wilkes, you literally were going one way because you bid for a Caicedo who's a clear 6, Lavia, and now you're gonna get Gravenberch. That means exactly what Cass is saying. People don't know what they're doing, or they don't know what they want. They're
You see,
just
we never
going,
got a 6,
"Oh, this
but
guy's
with
available."
Is Endo not a 6? So is Endo not a 6? So we
No,
just regard him as a
actually
6.
by trade,
Oh.
I'll tell you, Endo by trade is an 8. By the way.
Yeah, but for Jurgen Klopp, yeah, for what we've got, even though he's first year old, he will be playing in that number 6 role, right? When you've got someone like McAllister and Szoboszlai in front of you, for Jurgen Klopp,
It's still underwhelming, my brother.
but it's still a 6. I know it's underwhelming. I agree, but when you go from someone like Caicedo all the way down to, let's say, for example,
brother,
Endo,
the way you're talking to me, it's just a body. It's like Maguire and our team. It's just having a body in there, man. That's available. Like,
yeah, but you don't play Maguire.
You can't tell me that Endo was a part of your list. There is no.
I'm not
There's
saying
no
that
way.
it was. I'm not saying that it was. Like I said, Caicedo all the way to
wicked, by the way. Him next to Kamada. Kamada's the real 6. You know, but he went. Where did Kamada go to? Did he end up going to Dortmund or not?
Now, Kamada's not 6. Kamada's attacking mid.
No. He drops deep. Endo was the one that was doing
but
box.
you wouldn't play him as a 6 though. Yeah, you wouldn't play. I put Endo in more as a 6 than Kamada. Kamada's more like an attacking number 8.
I wouldn't say that. I would look up Kamada more as the 8 and doing a job as a 6 more than the going forward for me, for Frankfurt. No?
Nah, I look at more the attacking player, to be fair. I know he's left on a 3. I can't remember where he's gone now. I think he's gone to Italy, I think.
No, I swear. Where did he actually go to? I think Kamada's definitely an 8 box to box, but I think he's definitely got more quality.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I said 8 box to box. Yeah.
I like
100%.
Endo. You know what Endo reminds
Oh,
me
he's
of
at
a little bit
Lazio.
of?
Someone said he's at Lazio.
You know what I like about Endo? Endo further up the pitch, winning the ball and being annoying is what I see Endo as, not as a 6. You know, he's only recently where he's been doing 6 for Stuttgart, right?
But what were Liverpool good at? What were Liverpool good at, Cass? When you think about their best years, Liverpool were good at winning the ball high up the pitch, a bit like what Eric Ten Hag's trying to do now at Manchester United.
Trying to
Suffocate teams, pinch the ball, give it to the attackers and score off quick transitions. If Endo can do that and win the ball high up the pitch, Salah, Nunez, Gakpo, Jota, they're going to eat.
The guy's got Jorginho pace. The guy ain't getting back quick enough. He ain't Fabinho. Like, come on, man. Let's keep it. Let's keep it.
Fabinho was never that quick, bro. Cass, what did you praise him on last week? We was on the same string. You said Endo's positional awareness is his best trait. I agree.
Fabinho wasn't.
I don't
quick.
think Fabinho's ever been that quick.
No, Fabinho wasn't quick.
Bro, go look at this guy's long ass stride.
Nah. My quick and your quick might be different.
No.
Wasn't quick, though.
He knew how to cover ground very well.
Yeah.
Just not speed wise. I'm talking of like acceleration. It's covering ground. The guy was definitely quick to the mark. 100%. It's all about how you read the game.
That's positional. That's positional awareness for me.
Exactly. I don't think Endo's got that too tough. Yeah. Anyway,
You said last week that that's his best trait.
Come on.
Bro.
Not the point, guys. Not the point. The point is they went from a Caicedo to Endo, who's a makeshift 6, and said we signed a 6. And Wilkes here is sitting in, but we signed a 6. It's exactly as someone wants to go for Mbappe as a striker, and then the next minute they get someone from a championship and say, but we signed a striker. That's the whole argument, guys. It's not about if Endo's a 6 or
the truth is they needed Mo. I'm not even trying to defend Liverpool here. I'm vexed that Liverpool have done their business like they're having this summer. I'm a Man United fan. They needed 3 midfielders. They've got Endo, who's a natural 6. Yes, he's not a world beater, but he's a natural 6. You've got Gravenberch, who's an excellent ball carrier. United kind of need that Pogba vibe in there. You've got Szoboszlai, who's a creative type of player. I think they have not had for a while. They're kind of De Bruyne-ish. And then you've got McAllister, who's just calm, composed, can play 6 or 8. When you think about it, they've got great signings in this window. They needed 3. They've got 4. So whether Endo's amazing or not, they've still got 4 good players in that are part of a team.
Okay,
Endo doesn't need to be world class.
Can I put you? Let me. I'm sorry, sir. Let me give you a scenario. Let me give you a scenario that is related to your club because apparently I know what you're talking about. If Man United went all the summer and signed all the good players in the world, but you did not get a goalkeeper and you stayed with Dean Henderson, what would you have said?
It was still improved. Because Dean Henderson can be a competent keeper. If he can give me a 7 out of 10.
I'm done here.
How are you done? If Dean Henderson can give me a
done.
7 out of 10, but I've improved our whole midfield, why would I not take that? We had De Gea last year. Henderson.
You think Dean Henderson is an improvement? You think this is a that's
you just said to me. You just said to me, Mo.
For me.
Go on, you land first. You unanswered.
Okay, so mediocrity for me is that you go to get an Onana, someone on that stature, right? Someone like this. And then the next one, you're telling me because I signed a forward or I signed a midfielder, I'm going to settle with Dean Henderson. For me,
But Liverpool didn't sign a midfielder, they signed midfielders. If you said to me, Man United could go out and sign 4 midfielders this summer and keep Dean Henderson and go for a year, I would take that in a heartbeat, bro. Heartbeat.
What?
That's
No.
opinions then.
What, Cass?
Opinions
4 midfielders and
Oh,
keeping Henderson, or
God.
you'll take Onana and 1 midfielder.
But you didn't even mention Hoyland, my brother. Like we ain't. You be.
He didn't mention that. I didn't. He weren't talking about multiple positions. He
No,
talking about
my
midfield.
point. My point, Kat, is that signing Endo doesn't mean the window's
They
okay
didn't
because
just
I signed
sign
other
Endo.
players. Their main problem, their main problem was a competent 6. Is Endo up to the level of being a competent 6 for Liverpool Football Club? It's a yes or no question. A
Wait,
6
say
by
your
himself.
point. Say that point again. Say that point again.
Is Endo a competent 6 up to the level of Liverpool Football Club? Yes or no?
It's not a yes or no.
They
bro.
want better.
There's context behind it. There's always going to be context behind it. You can't just say, "Oh, yes or no," or it's not guaranteed. There's always going to be context.
Yeah, they'd want better,
Like
but they've got one in.
We got Endo. Yes, he's not up to your standard. For example, yeah, you're right. We didn't get a Casado or someone like a Lavia. We stick to an Endo.
Or even
We've
a
got Bacic.
Paulinia. Just go down. I can go down all the way. Works.
Fair enough. But my context is this. I'm looking at it as, okay, you've got McAllister that can play probably in the 6. We've got Bacic that's coming through. And if coached well by Jurgen Klopp, can be a good talent as well. He played the last several games last season as well. And he was looking tidy and very good as well. So and you've got someone like an Endo. I'm all right. And you've got Thiago. I know he might be injury prone, but if you can give me like 10 games, I'll be all right. Yes, you're right. It's not a competent 6. Like I said, for example, in January, we was looking at Andre. Whether or not he's a real deal or not, we'll see what happens in January. But I think for now, until January, and we can reassess, then I'm okay with this so far. If you give me a centre-back, just for now, no, I'm not saying for the season, give me up to January, then we'll start talking about whether
You know what? I'm hearing.
They need a centre back 100%. But Cass, how can Liverpool fans not be happy with that midfield? 4 signings.
When I tell you now, yeah, if we sign an Endo or an Arsenal sign an Endo, not Rice, and we got Endo to the Amrabat, all my days we'd be.
No, I'll be
screaming.
fuming 100%. But I'm not saying that. I'm saying they've got Gravenberch, Soboslai, McAllister on top.
Oh my God, right. Guess what? I don't care. Because basically, yeah, all I'm trying to get across is they signed bare 8s and nothing. They haven't really addressed mad issues, yeah. I'm not even trying to grill Liverpool. I'm just trying to be realistic on the situation, yeah. Liverpool want to be up in a certain place in some time, right? They want to be back on top if they can, right? And now they're doing what we do, getting, content. When you bring up the levels there, then you get a bit realistic with where you're at, and then you get content where you're at. That's what Liverpool was. They're trying to get back, like they're at that reality.
So what's like the content signing?
Anyways, let's be honest. After McAllister and Szoboszlai, I wouldn't have looked at Liverpool and said, "Cool, you've addressed 2 midfielders."
I think Gravenberch
two
can be sick.
2 very good midfielders. Now, how do you complement a McAllister? How do you complement a very attacking mid in terms of Szoboszlai? A DM. And guess what? You ain't even addressed the areas as much as I thought you would have. Is in centre back and a right back, to be honest. You said Joe Gomez is going over to right back. So where's the 2 centre backs that you might need or something like that? That's all I'm trying to say.
What's the argument? What's the argument here? I don't get it. Liverpool has signed 4 players. 3 of them are decent and 1 of them is meaty.
You specifically said that you said Liverpool have had a good window. There's no chance.
No, midfield window.
You didn't say midfield window. You said
they need a centre back still. Liverpool had a good midfield window. Signing 4 players when I said they needed 3, I think is a good window. What's it? Welcome your name, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm 100% saying to welcome. Yeah, I bet at the start of the season, start of the window, if I said to him, right, you're gonna get Endo with a 6, but you're gonna get Gravenberch, Soboslai, McAllister, he would have taken that 100%, man.
But it's the lack
Can I get Rory? Rory, can you please?
It's the lack of an elite 6, which is the big problem. And it's clearly a problem they did want to address because they were willing to drop 110 million on Caicedo. And you can say even saying they've had a good midfield window, I still don't think they have. If you had a back 4 where you clearly needed a new centre-back and you went out and bought 3 left-backs in the same window, you can't say, well, we had a great defence window because you've still not addressed a big issue. And if you look at every other top team that they're looking to compete with, you've got Rodri at City, you've got Rice and Partey at Arsenal, you've got Caicedo and Lavia at Chelsea, you've got Basuma at Tottenham, across Casemiro and now Amrabat at United. It's a serious issue for such an important position that Liverpool haven't addressed it. And it's all well and good having 4 new midfielders, but you're not going to play all 4 of them. And if you do, at least one of them's going to have to be misprofiled and play as a 6, and they'll clearly be vulnerable throughout the season until they address that issue.
No, I hear that.
Thank
I
you,
respect
Rory.
that, and I actually respect that because I don't think Endo is up to the Man United stand. I mean, Liverpool top standard what they want. But I just think generically, if I'm breaking it down myself, if you sign 4 midfielders from what they had, I still think it's a good midfield window. Endo is not the long-term solution. We get that. They'll probably go and get a proper number 6 next summer. But I think if Klopp is Klopp and who he is, Endo should not justify how their season come down to.
That's not the argument. The argument here is you saying that you're saying that they've had a good window, and you said a midfield window, but they haven't. They in reality they haven't. Like they've addressed 2 areas, but the key areas. What do we say is one of the most, if not the most pivotal position?
Yeah, DM's one of the most important positions in the team.
The DM, the 8, the 6 role, the all-round 6 role. Yeah, we always point towards that. So I'm keeping my energy for that. What's Liverpool's main issue? It's not going forward. They started off the window the best. Yeah, the best way possible.
They still needed 2 8s though, so they've got that.
Well, guess what? We always talk about now, Konate's injuries, Matip's injuries, Thingy's injuries. The issue is the leakage of goals. They're not having a DM or a centre-back that's always available to partner Van Dijk. Van Dijk's not crap, don't get me wrong, but now he's out for a couple games potentially as well, and they got no Konate. Now they're stuck with bare bones, and they're going into Europa League soon. So what have they really addressed? If you ain't really addressed the main issue of Liverpool, it's never been about scoring. It's just been about addressing the issues. This is what Man United, this is what we've been screaming all window. A capable enough 6 or /8, right? That has legs, that is pretty press resistant, and that can pass the ball forward. Yeah. And that's it. Keep ticking about balance. That's the difference. We've addressed a goalkeeper. I'm just going to compare it to my situation in my club or our club tie. We addressed the goalkeeper. We've addressed you could say now that midfield to a nice degree, because even if Mount's there or not, a good utility player, but I'm going to still say it's definitely underwhelming and not what I wanted.
Yeah, I hear
Amrabat wanted all window.
And then Højlund, we got a number 9. Yeah.
Yeah, Højlund's a number 9, but it's just potential, and I don't know how that one's going to work out. If you tell me that's what we're going to do for what our board's capable of, I'm saying, you know what, that's decent, but guess what? For me, overall, it's still a 6 out of 10. It's not good enough.
I agree with that. I agree with all that.
We still need to address the centre back, and we still need to address probably a right back. I'm not happy that Dalot and Wan-Bissaka both got deals. I think that stinks. But guess what? We've had we sold 65.
Yeah, I would go out and get another centre. I still want another centre mid.
For the first time in my life as a Man United fan, we've had to sell so we can buy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I agree with all that. When Man United think 6 out of 10, I agree. I'll take another midfielder as well. I agree with that.
I'm not
It
even
is a different style what we're talking
I'm
about.
not
Right, Cass.
I'm not even criticizing Liverpool like that, but I'm not going to sit here and be in fairy tale land and start gassing Liverpool fans that you've had an amazing window when you know deep down it's not good enough.
So Cass, if they've signed the 4 midfielders, welcome. If you've signed the 4 midfielders, now with that, and obviously you haven't got the centre back, do you think you lot should be going for the title? Now, I know you're not better than C, but you said top 4 still with 4 midfield signings, yeah?
Yeah, I'll still say top 4. We're nowhere near the league. I'm not saying anything about the league. We're not ready to compete. Because like I said, you're right. It's a in terms of midfield, I'm okay for what it is, but at the same time, it's been poor. We bid for Caicedo. We didn't get Caicedo. We didn't get Lavia. We was going to run a couple 5Ms. We didn't get Lavia. We still need a centre back as well. And Kaz is right as well. We needed a right back from time ago. When
100%.
Not even
Calvin Ramsey's been injured all year.
Bro, it's exactly. And exactly. Can you believe our board? We needed a new right back, but they got some Scottish kid from all the way Calvin Ramsey. I think he's a good player, but that's talent. That's just talent. That's not a solid right back. So do you know what I mean? But I think it is poor. It is underwhelming. But however, I'm backing my team now for what it is worth for right now, and let's see what happens in January. I'm taking
minimum. I'm telling you now, minimum top 4. I'm putting it on you. Like, you have to get top 4 for me, minimum.
In January, if we get a centre back, and let's say we get another DM, then we'll see. I'm just looking at it in just little gaps, kind of.
Yeah.
But now, top 4. That's what I'm saying. And let's see what the football is. And I'm looking at Jurgen Klopp. So you brought in these signings. Let's see what you can do. Coach, bro. Coach your team.
Yeah.
You get what I'm
Guys,
saying?
there is almost 1,000 people here.
Ten Hag.
Yeah, there's almost 1,000 people here. So hit that like button for us. Get us to 500 likes. The like button is how we keep giving you free content. It's thumbs up underneath your live chat. So give me to 500 likes. Let me do these couple of super chats. Michael Ramsey here is saying Rubbish Jones can score 1 million goals, but he's still rubbish. Only deluded people rate Rubbish Jones. Opinions, my friend.
For me, there's a player in there. In Jones, there's a player. There's something. I like Jones. I like him personally.
Chris is saying Liverpool lost 5 first team quality midfielders. They added 3 and Endo. They are working on a deficit at the position. Still, it is fine. Still poor. Well, someone agrees with some.
I agree with that one, Chris. But when I've seen 115 million played hand, you could have got Pellegrini and you could have got Gonzalo Inacio's, you know, you could have got that done. 70 million plus what's Gonzalo Inacio's new release clause beforehand? It was only 37 and a half.
He was at 43 now.
He was chasing him. Now you're chasing Hincapi, and guess what? Hincapi's not here. So
the whole point is we started this thinking that Liverpool are confused. How would you drop 110 million on a DM and then the next target is an 8?
That's why I think it was a fluke, Mo. That's why I don't think it was in for Caicedo. We was never in reports for Caicedo. That's why I think when Liverpool booked that money, like, where did we get this? Bro, we needed players from since we won the Champions League. So where did all of a sudden did you get 150 M's from? It was unlike Liverpool. That's why I think it was just a fluke.
Yeah.
Bro, Cass started the conversation saying one thing. Liverpool are confused. That's it. And then all hell broke loose.
It's good though. I like a bit of help sometimes. It's Friday.
Okay, Donnie LFC saying Klopp wanted Gravenberch for 3 years. Here we go with the stories. For 3 years, so how this panic by McAllister, one best Prem, supposed like one of the best in Germany league, and experienced DM, strong window. If you think that after you're in for Caicedo, man, it's up to you. It's whatever people make them to convince themselves.
If they're happy with it, then fine. Let's see. I still think it will work, and I still think it's enough to be in and around the top 4 area. But if you're going to tell me that team is a solid top 4 balanced team, I'd call you crazy.
I'll be real, Cass. Yeah, the one big issue where I think Liverpool have gone wrong, and it might be hindsight because it's a Premier League club to Premier League club. We're looking at João Palhinha, yeah, who everyone rates, and he's going to Bayern Munich for 60 million, right? Liverpool spent 35 million pounds on Gravenberch, but they bidded 50 million for Lavia, yeah, and 110 for Caicedo. If you know that Palhinha is available for essentially 60 million, scrap Lavia, scrap Caicedo and all that dodging around the bullets, and just go and pay the money for Palhinha. 60 million could have your midfield sorted.
You know what the excuse?
They didn't. They didn't.
Liverpool fan excuses is that he's 28. I'm like, that's prime age. That's
prime age for a DM.
You've got a lot of youngsters in your squad. Prime age.
That's why I don't get. Like for me, Liverpool fans are not speaking enough. Why are you watching Palhinha go for 60 million, but you know all summer you've quabbled about 50 million for Lavia, 110 for Caicedo, and the middleman is right there for 60, who would definitely go because Fulham would take that money. I don't get it. Welcome. Real talk.
Even an Alvarez that went to West Ham. I do think that Alvarez, we could have got Alvarez. Bro, his quality, I think in our team, that could have worked. Jurgen Klopp could have worked with him.
I wanna move on a little bit from Liverpool, and I want to go to Arsenal for a bit since we have Rory here.
Yeah, big up Rory.
Earlier that you're not happy with the window, especially because Timber is injured, and you think you have to add more. Can you a little bit explain why do you think the window isn't to your satisfaction?
Yeah, I think, you know, halfway through the window when we'd got Rice, Timber, Havertz and Raya all done, it looked like it was a really strong window. But that injury to Timber, it came early enough that it could have been addressed, and we've not addressed it. And that's if he'd got injured against United on Sunday after the window had shut, I'd say, damn, that's really unlucky. It is what it is. But we know, and we have known for a couple of weeks, that that's an issue. There's a lack of defensive depth. We've got less defensive depth now than we had last season, and it was already a problem. So we've lost Tierney on loan. Obviously, Holding's going to go. And basically, we're taking a massive gamble on not picking up defensive injuries. And given that we've got Zinchenko and Tomiyasu, who are both consistently injured in their time at Arsenal, I just think it's a silly issue not to tackle, given that we know that there's a problem there. And it doesn't have to be, you know, Arteta came out and said this afternoon, we can't go and buy 2 or 3 players because we've got players coming back and this, that, and the other. And it's like, we don't need to go and buy 2 or 3 players. Bring in a defender on loan just to make sure that there's cover there. And that's an issue. So I still think it's been a good window. I still think it's probably a 7 out of 10, but it was a far better window before Timber got injured, and now we're just gambling unnecessarily on keeping players fit.
What about the striker? What about the striker thing? Sorry, Wilkes, go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, because okay, if that's the case, who would you like to see that come in, even as a loan deal for Arsenal, and that can be a good star?
Bella Kotchap at Southampton is available for a loan. I think a couple of deals have fallen through, but he's definitely available. You know, it doesn't need to be a top player. This is effectively going to be someone that, if the injuries happen and we need to fall back on someone, then you've got them. So yeah, Bella Kotchap. I mean, Kyle Walker-Peters potentially you could bring in. More of a right-sided player, but can play right back, left back.
I'm so confused how no one's picked him up.
Bro, I thought Crystal Palace should have bagged him at right back ASAP. They got Joe Ward still playing.
We was even in for him. We was
Joe
scouting him.
Ward.
Joe Ward is still here.
Joe
since
Ward, like,
2014.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not even being racial yet, but Crystal Palace like them type of man as well. I thought right back, Carl Walker Peters, 50 million, job done. But I think Rory's got a good point there. Like with Walker Peters, can play left back, can play right back. Obviously, he's right footed, but he's comfortable in either area. And also one thing as well is that he would come to Arsenal, be a shrewd signing for the money, but also he wouldn't demand to start every game because he's competing at the highest level. So it's kind of a match made in heaven. And like Welcome said, you want to find a balance of not bringing in someone who's demanding to start and can mess with the balance of the harmony, but someone who's willing to come in, wants to make an impact, and also will fight for their place, which he would. So now I think that's a great shout, Rory, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. I know some people have mentioned Cancelo, which I think was more of like an ex-Arteta's City rumour. He's gone to Barca now, and I think for that exact reason, I wouldn't have really wanted Cancelo because he would have demanded starting pretty much every game, and I don't think it would have happened. So,
Can I throw
I
another
think
name out there, Rory, that you didn't go for? Would you have gone for Castagna, who's gone to Fulham from Leicester?
Possibly. He was like on the list. He was below Kyle Walker-Peters for me. But again, it would have just been, an option, a body. And in reality, we're now staring down the barrel of Cedric bloody Suarez still being here for another season.
I've seen Eric Garcia as a loan option. That's who you're linked with. I'm not even trying to.
Cass, don't do that again.
Hey, why? Look, even someone in the team said it. You got Eric Garcia links, bro.
Nah,
The
sorry,
links are
he's
there.
shocking.
The links are there, but no, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah, like,
Hey, Rory, hold it. We had at regular Don that I'll call him like that. No, thank you. But guess what? He's here now. He's here to stay for 6 months.
Yeah, but no, I'll be honest. The fact that because Holding, it sounds like he's going to Crystal Palace, fine, but Cedric is still at the club. And if I see Cedric in a 23-24 Arsenal shirt this season,
are you annoyed at Arsenal then? Like when you're going for the title, consider where you were last season. You got to, say to April, and you were there, and then you obviously he gunned you down and showed what they're about. Are you gutted now that you've got Havertz in? Yes, he's a squad player. He's not going to be your main starter for me once the team's fully clicking. You've got Declan Rice who's going to come in and obviously be a main starter. Timber, yes, he was going to be a player, but obviously he's injured. Are you annoyed now that with 3 weeks to go, you started off your window, you could say positively or with intent that now you feel like your squad is short when you're competing in the Champions League now? Do you actually feel short?
Yeah, I think our starting 11 is better than it was last season because Rice from Granit Xhaka is just a big upgrade, and we have everyone else. But the depth is an issue, and it wasn't our starting 11 last season that cost us the title. It was the lack of depth when Saliba was out injured, and that's going to be an issue again if we pick up injuries. And I just feel like it's such an unnecessary gamble for us to take when we've been bitten by it last season already.
Sorry, Rory, where are you predicting Arsenal to be in this league? Are you going for the league or?
I think at the start of the season, I still do predict that we'll finish second. I think we'll be in a title race. I don't know if the title race will even be as competitive as it was last season. But one thing's for sure is that we're a couple of injuries, especially in the defence, away from being well out of any title race.
I do think Arteta should get a cut, man. I think this season Arteta should try and get a cut because I really thought that Arteta could have got that Europa League last season, but obviously unfortunate events and so forth. But I think this season, Arteta should get a nice cup in his bag.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a relatively. If he doesn't, it depends on everything else. It's one of those like if we just about scrape top 4, don't get a cup, get knocked out in the round of 16 or even the group stage of the Champions League, then I think that's a poor season. If we have a title race and we get a long way in the Champions League and still don't win anything, it's not such a problem for me. I still think there's time for him, but yeah, it depends how it goes.
Do you agree with that, Mo?
Yeah, I said it many times. It's all about title race. Forget winning or not winning. There's context to it. You win it, you lose it by 2-3 points to Man City. Come on, just who can come? Anyway, at the moment, would you put your money on Arsenal winning the league? I wouldn't.
Nope.
So exactly. So that's the whole point. And would you put your money on them winning the Champions League? They got an easy draw. They can go to the round of 16. I say quarterfinal is the minimum for Arsenal, and that's it.
Agreed.
But I'm not just going to say, oh, Arteta, you have to win a title today. We haven't won for that many years. I'm like, okay, but there's Pep Guardiola. It's like, what are we gonna do about the bin the guy? Like, just to remove the guy from the equation? Yeah, they can win the second place. But anyway, long story short, they have done what they wanted to do. They got the window that they wanted. I don't think the Arsenal fans are happy with Arteta's approach in this season. Hopefully he will go back to his mind and go back to sanity and start playing this football he knows. And we'll see that on Saturday against Man United, to be honest. I think he's gonna go back, to be honest. But Rory, what about the striker thing? I see a lot of people complaining about the striker situation.
Not an issue for me. It hasn't been an issue also. It's a long-term thing that I think we'll address in the same way that eventually City went and got Haaland. But again, scoring goals wasn't an issue for us last season. Broke our goal-scoring record. It's just, clearly, we've basically run out of money at the end of this window, or we've run out of FFP availability, or whatever you want to call it. We couldn't go out and get a striker. And when you are going to go and do it, I think you have to pull the trigger and get a top level striker. So Rice and that striker was never happening this window. Maybe we address it next summer. We'll see.
Yeah. You get Victor.
Before we move to Man United, let me do these couple of super chats. Akil is saying, as an Arsenal fan, our window started great, but other teams have strengthened much better than us. I don't know about that. Amrabat to United, Fatty to Brighton, Sad. What do you say to that?
I mean, really? I don't think Amrabat or Fatty would necessarily start for Arsenal. So again, they'd be depth signings for us.
I mean, Kai Havertz is starting, and Amrabat's definitely starting.
Well, it depends though, because if you don't have, but you wouldn't drop Havertz for Amrabat in our midfield would be the issue.
I'd put, as we've been saying, Rice in the 8, and I'd be putting Amrabat in the 6 personally. I'd go back to, I'll just revert it.
But then you drop. I don't know if I'd drop Partey for Amrabat personally.
No, I would put Partey, Amrabat, and then because I like Amrabat more than Rice. I've said it. He's gonna do all your stats what you want. The better progressive passer is Amrabat. So that's what I'd put it there.
So you drop Rice for Amrabat.
But Rory thinks Rice is a better DM than both Partey and I won't forget that.
I've done this debate all summer, and I'll keep it consistent. I don't think Rice is as good as people think he is, and that's calm. He does a solid job. He's a great player. He has potential to be world class, but that's just potential. I don't really see a much higher ceiling than what he's at right now, and that's that. That's it. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Rice fan either. And also, Mo, you weren't going to say that Rory thinks he's better than Rodri, were you?
So Rory picked his team, and I take Rory as an honest guy. He doesn't do it for clicks and stuff. Like he said that Rice as a 6 at the moment is better than Casemiro and Partey. So he chose in the start the combined line.
Partey is a better 6 than me than Rice.
For me, I think
I know you weren't doing it for clicks because you were literally explaining it on the thing, and I'm like,
yeah.
Who is it doing it?
I stand by it.
Rice is a better 6 than Partey. I can't believe it.
Yeah, that's I'm not.
And Casemiro, bro, and Casemiro.
On form, definitely Casemiro, because I think Casemiro started the season very slowly. But with Partey, the difference for me between Partey and Rice is just the amount of ground that Declan Rice covers and can cover. If you've got Ødegaard and Bruno as the other 2 midfielders, which that team did, I just think it would be more balanced.
And do you want me to show the difference then, Rory? You say about the grounds, that's off the ball. When you have Partey on the pitch, he has much more control. He can pass and keep the tempo going as a 6.
I agree.
Arsenal dominate the ball more. I'd rather have my 6 controlling the ball, dictating the tempo, than using him to chase the ball around because you haven't got control with Rice in there.
But there's a lot of other players, especially Zinchenko was at left back moving into the midfield. You've got other players that can do that. I think but
that's the thing, it's the ifs and the buts. But with Partey, you just know you're an oiled machine when you've got Partey.
Partey at the
eye has nothing to do with context.
By the way, Ty,
it's the best lineup you can pick from both. It's not like about systems and stuff.
If I was picking the best Arsenal team, I'm putting Partey in the 6. That's my answer then.
You know what? Do you know what the maddest thing is? Yeah. It was only at the back end of last season or anything. No one was having this conversation about Rice being one of the best DMs even in the league. But all of a sudden, he joins Arsenal and he's one of the best. Make it make sense. The thing is,
and I actually think Declan Rice is better further up the pitch.
That's what I think. I think he's an 8. But what's it called? Because since you want to do dog work, go do it at the pitch then, not at the back when people have to tell you where to be and what to do. You know, I see it plenty of times. That's what no one's going to talk about. You know, Ogbonna telling where to go and what to do.
I respect your opinion, Rory, by the way. I just disagree.
I look at it like this. I can't have a conversation about Amrabat because 98% of people in this chat have not even watched Amrabat more than 5 times, let alone 3 times. So they've watched him, the World Cup, by the way. So I can't have that conversation. it's easy to point the finger. Premier League players instantly better than a Serie A player. Cool, fine, that's fine.
Amrabat's got to come and actually prove that he can do it in the Premier League. I know people say, "Oh, Premier League proven" and stuff, but you do still have to come and do it and prove it in the Premier League.
Lots of players that come over from the Premier League, they all have to do it at one point, and I'm more than comfortable with having that shout for him, anyways. But yeah, talking on Man United, Amrabat, what are you saying?
Before we do that,
I'm here, man. I'm on my way. I'm
Ramsey
flying
saying
over.
Rubbish Rice isn't an upgrade. Madman.
What, on Granit Xhaka? On Granit Xhaka?
Yeah,
Granit Xhaka was good for you, man, last season,
bro.
Granit Xhaka was great last season, but he had his clear flaws.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
But he
definitely
was
an
good last
upgrade.
season.
Bachman here is saying this show doesn't have enough balance. Invite Igal. Igal was here yesterday, so
He's trying to take the
we're
piss.
not inviting Igal.
But
Let's talk about Man United. Amrabat, bro,
Yeah, finally, man.
needs to start right away.
I don't know. I thought you have to be registered by 12.
Yeah,
Am I
he
wrong?
can't play against. Yeah, no, you're right. He can't play against Arsenal.
Really?
Yeah. I'm sure
Had
there's
to be-
it's always been 12 o'clock, I think, Rory,
You have
innit?
to be registered by
Yeah.
12 on Friday to play the weekend.
Yeah, I'm
Midday.
sure that's always been the normal rule. I don't know if it's
didn't know
different for
that.
deadline day because it's deadline day, but normally 12 o'clock on a Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because it's just Premier League registration. They have to be registered.
Yeah,
with
that's
the
Your
Friday.
loss, incompetent Man United couldn't get over.
I don't
the
mind
line.
that. Do you know what? I don't mind because him and I think Reguilon's obviously registered in time. I think he could play, but I don't want him to. But I wouldn't want Amrabat in a weird way. He could thrive on the situation. You'd be throwing Amrabat away at Arsenal. Some players take it by the scruff of the neck, and it's just like, yeah. Do you know what? Like Matic. I remember when Matic played his Chelsea debut. It was away at Man City when they had Yaya Toure, and he bossed Yaya Toure and Nemanja Matic, and it was like, you know, where this guy like he's come from in obviously Benfica, but what a debut. Amrabat could have done that on Sunday against Arsenal, but for me in the position we're in right now, I don't mind if Amrabat just has a full international break just to get used to the methods at United, slap him in at home against Brighton at home because you know how Brighton dictate the ball and stuff like that, and then let's move with it. But the annoying thing for me is that I'm happy that Amrabat's here. Like, it's been a long time coming. I've been told that he's been wanting to move all summer.
Yeah,
if Man United
since
didn't get his
June.
deal done, it was on Man United. However, he's going home. He's going to have lunch and that. He's playing on Saturday. He's going home for lunch.
Is
Man
that
ain't
what they're
training at 4. Why is it, by the way, if anyone knows football in England, you're not training at 3 o'clock. You're done. You're finished for the day. But what's it called? Amrabat, me and Cass have wanted it all summer. It annoys me a bit that Man United have taken so long with it, but it's over the line. I don't care about the loan fee. It's not coming out my bank, and we've got a physical specimen in there because you look at Liverpool, I said it already, the Szoboszlai, McAllister, Endos and Gravenberch, they've got physicality in there now. You look at Liverpool, you look at Chelsea, Casado and Lavia. You look at Arsenal, yes, Declan Rice is coming, but he's still a physical presence. And you look at City, dribblers, ball playing, as in they can beat people 1v1 now, Kovacic and what's the other? Nunes. So when you look at their midfields, they've all upgraded, and Basuma's back is like a new signing for Spurs as well. Man United's midfield is coming like a featherweight boxing ring. Honestly, like you got Casemiro in there, and then you got Bruno and Mount that just get overpowered, overrun. We need some balance, and Amrabat can give us that, man. So I'm finally happy it's over the line. I still would want another midfielder, if I'm totally honest with you, because I look at that game against Spurs that we lost. That was actually a game that Fred could have thrived in. I don't miss Fred, but that was a perfect Fred type of match. So we need a bit of that control in there with Amrabat, that calmness, but I still want another midfielder. But finally, obviously, I'm here, and hopefully I can have a good season. I don't know what Cass thinks. I know he's buzzing.
No, man, we just didn't shift Van der Beek and McTominay on time. If we shifted both of them, I think we'd have got.
We could have had another midfielder, bro.
We would have had Gravenberch, who I don't mind having.
Can you imagine that? Right, Mason Mount, Gravenberch, and Amrabat. And this is what I'm saying to people. When I talk on Mason Mount, I don't think Mason Mount's a crap player. What my problem is if you get 65 million to spend on your midfield and you know what we need, Eric Ten Hag's first thought should not be to buy Mason Mount. You get Mount on top of the Amrabat and Gravenberch. You bring in them first. You have a proper impact on the team who are natural centre mids. The problem is that he signed Mount first, and then we haven't got Gravenberch, and now we're getting Amrabat on deadline day. That's where I love Ten Hag, but that's why I have to question that what's he thinking? Because yeah,
that's where the talent ID kind of haunts me a little bit. But I just don't even know why we even got the guy. I get it. 55 million grand on 60 million.
I don't mind it as much now because we've got Amrabat Cass, but still, I'd rather take Gravenberch and Amrabat. You get me?
No, he shouldn't be in the first signing, man. The thing is, if we tried to get back in this window, they would have stayed down for about 70 million. So in hindsight, that's the way I look at it.
I must ask, For Man
Who
United,
drops?
where's your creative spark, like in your midfield? Like, where's your creativity that's kind of coming from? Are you going to rely on, like, say, your wingers, like your Rashfords and your Anthony or your Martial?
Bruno, bro. Like, I had to put this. This is how I look at it, Welcome, right? You've watched Man United in the first 2 games. We've tried playing this new 4-3-3 with Mount and Bruno as 8s. It's not worked out, and I haven't liked it. When you look at Bruno, last week, it was Casemiro and Eriksen back together, and Bruno was playing more as a number 10. He wasn't playing as a number 8. Man United, yes, we went 2-0 down in the first 5 minutes, but if you watch the game, we deserved to win. We could have scored more goals. I think that Amrabat and Casemiro enables Ten Hag to play Bruno as a 10. And yes, Ten Hag, I'm sorry, bro, it's going away from what your approach was with the 2 8s. But I want Bruno as a 10. I don't want him as an 8 with Mason Mount. So this, for me, would give us the license to get Bruno back in the 10, just do anything up there, and we've got more security now with Casemiro and Amrabat. That's 100% how I see it. And give Bruno that freedom to just say, yes, if you're going to get some passes wrong, you're going to get some passes wrong. But at least some of them you're going to get right.
Yeah.
That's man.
Me.
Cobby season's loading soon as well, man.
Now I can go back. Now I can go back to that my Man United hype, Ty. You know, like you got Amrabat now.
It's been gone. It's been gone.
Seriously, I've been criticizing.
Well, okay, Mo. So
Man
with
United
that,
a
then,
lot.
what are you predicting for us, then, Mo? Now we've got, say, we get no more signings, and we've got Reguilon, we've got Amrabat now with Casemiro and Bruno potentially there.
So
Top
my
3.
problem is the left back. So my problem is the left back. This Reguilon thing is underwhelming until I know when is Shaw back. Like if Shaw's back in January, I think that's you have 4 months to cover that left back. Is Malacia enough? Is Dallo enough as a left back? And also, you're playing about 45 to 50 games this year. Dallo is the cover for Wan-Bissaka. Remember that.
He's back in December.
Early December. So that means you'll have to go 2 months with I think that's okay.
Let me flip it back on you, then, Mo,
year.
and ask you a question. As a neutral, you said Reguilon, okay, it's not that great. There was Cucurella, who I did want. He couldn't come. After Cucurella and Reguilon, you tell me then a better option we could have gotten on loan.
I'm gonna keep saying that. I am not a scout. Here is the thing. I am not here to report it. I am not here to report Ty. I'm not here to do the job for other people. I'm here only to talk about that signing. My man Reguilon, let me just finish. My man Reguilon was injured half the season last year, and the rest of the season he was he played 300 minutes. If Ten Hag can revive this guy's career, and based on the last season he spent at Spurs, where all the Spurs fans wanted him out, I think that's a very, very underwhelming signing for Manch. Again, Cass has said it before. He has not seen his club has to sell to buy. And I'm holding Manchester United to this level. You could have got, I don't know, even someone who is in form. Reguilon hasn't played football last year, hasn't. He's been a year out of football.
I'd rather have taken us a chance on Alvaro Fernandez. I don't know why we got
something like this.
What's the point? The thing is, I don't mind it because he'll play cup games. It's just a body, innit, right? Reguilon, and he will see what he can do, but it's underwhelming. Even though it's emergency, it's a panic loan.
I think that's damning for Alvaro, Cass, because the fact is that I would prefer Alvaro to be thrown in. And I know people might say the way United started the season is a lot of pressure, but at the end of the day, how are we ever going to know if he's good enough if he doesn't get a chance to start? And for his confidence as well, if you're thinking the Malacia's out and Shaw's out, he should be next up. That's the truth. But the fact that Dallo has gone there, which I understand a bit because he played there last season in a few games, but then you bring in another left back over me, that basically says, you know what, I don't have a future at this football club. And it's a shame because he was a young player of the year, Preston last season, and I wanted him to get a chance, technically secure as well and sound, and he would give everything for the club. But it just shows again, obviously, Ten Hag sees it as a different option, and I think it's going to be a shame.
I don't think that was his choice, Ty. I don't think that was his choice. He was in between Cucurella and Reguilon, and Cucurella got cup-tied. So he can't even play the cup games now, and they wanted so much more money than what you.
No, but I think what Cass is saying is instead of getting Reguilon, we should have just promoted Alvaro.
So yeah, I get that, but sometimes managers don't like to play young players.
Exactly.
Ready. They don't want to burn the player now because there is a lot of pressure when your 2 left backs are injured and you are the youth player coming out of the academy. So much pressure on you playing at Old Trafford, even in cup games, by the way.
This is what I'm saying. Maybe he didn't feel he was ready.
Yeah, but I think, to be honest, this Reguilon signing is just gonna call it. It's 2 out of 10 signing with 1 out. It's just a body, as Cass says. Just a body.
That's it. I don't. It's like a bit like Johnny Evans in a sense. I don't really care that he's at the club because I don't think they're gonna play that much.
Bro, Johnny Evans played football last year.
No, but they're not. He's not going to start Man United. He's not going to
Do you know
start Man
what?
United.
What I'd have done is, honestly, you should have sold Maguire, brought in a centre-back, Todibo or whoever, and then I'd have moved Lissandro Martinez out to left-back for now to cover that.
Bro, have you seen his recovery pace?
I said that they don't
Doesn't
like it,
need
Rory.
recovery
You're gonna
pace.
get attacked now.
Honestly, man, Rory.
Hey,
Me and
Son,
Cass, what are you saying on that? Aren't pain in my eyes?
No. When Sandro gets dragged out wide, it's
Honestly, it's bad. Rory is bad.
That was the solution. That was the solution.
Need him in essential areas, man. None of that. No, thank you. I'd rather play Varane. I'm not joking. I'd rather play Varane at left back or go get. No point in selling Anthony Langer. Let's see how he does. Rather not. But yeah, man. Yeah, top four.
But
solid.
I want to ask one thing now. Now, where's Mount now in this equation? What happens to Mount in this equation?
Utility man, would he? He loves Mount.
Hey, when I tell you now, yeah, the midfield will end up being for me during the season when Casemiro can't play more time or less. It will be Kobe Mino, Casemiro, Bruno. That will be it. Trust me when I say this. But it will be more time. It will be Bruno, Amrabat, Cassie. That's what it's going to be. Mino will come in. Mount will need to come in. And then I'm pretty sure Scott McTominay, maybe even might get minutes more ahead of him from what I read.
Yeah.
So
Bro, it's depth, innit? It's Arsenal, like Rory said earlier, they challenged for the title, and the problem for them was depth. They're back in the Champions League now, not the Europa, so they're going to play first team strength. Man United back in the Champions League as well, and obviously competing for top 4 in the Premier League. We need depth. So having players like Amrabat and Mount to rotate, play Carabao Cup, or come in for the midweek games, this is what we need. At the end of the day, you need a squad, and that's what Man United not finally have, but that's what they're trying to get towards, Mo. So Mount will get his games. He might not have to start every week. Doesn't matter. He will get his games. And, I'd rather have Mount and Amrabat as options than having, McTominay and Van der Beek or Fred. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, guys, so we'll be back.
Mount could play off the right.
No, I don't want it.
Yeah,
I hear you,
it's
but
better than
I
Anthony. Bro, it's better than Anthony. It might be better than Anthony.
No, watch Palestri's going to take his position. Watch. Gets minutes.
Anyway, people, this has been a brilliant show. Thanks, Rory, for being here. Thanks, Will, for being
thank
here.
you, guys.
Appreciate you guys coming on. Thank you, Ty and Cass. We'll be back tonight after the Luton game. Tonight, also, there will be news.
What time are you going tonight? You're going 11 o'clock tonight after deadline?
11 o'clock. Yeah. 11 o'clock.
After deadline.
11.
So after deadline.
Finish out.
And then tomorrow, soccer brunch as well from the studio. Me and Cass as well will be joined by an Arsenal guest tomorrow, talking about all the Premier League stuff coming up this weekend. So that's tomorrow at 10:30.
Yeah, no, 11. Tonight we got Kopish on with us. So there you go.
Nice.
Talk about the weekend and all the transfers, etc.
So sounds great. Okay,
Smash a like on your way out.
Make sure to hit that like button before you go, and we'll see you later.